The Paper Mario series is in a very interesting spot right now. After the release of the Origami King and the remake of the Thousand Year Door, it feels like Nintendo is finally listening to what makes this franchise so special. But, where do we go from here? The recent games have fully transitioned into the action-adventure genre, placing a big emphasis on the paper aesthetic itself. Titles like Sticker Star and Color Splash introduced experimental inventory-reliant battle systems centered on single-use stickers and cards, while also removing experience points and permanent party members. While modern entries like the Origami King found some middle ground, by mixing ring rotation puzzle combat with a return to a grander storytelling. So, let's discuss what Nintendo might try to do for their next game, and why I think the next Paper Mario game could be amazing. The first idea I had is one of the most requested: a return to the partner system. In older games, your partners weren't just for show, they had their own health bars, their own backstories, and their own unique moves in combat. For the next game, it'd be really cool to see something like hybrid partners. Imagine a Koopa Troopa who helps in battle but can also provide gadgets. In the overworld, he could build paper bridges, and in battle, he could upgrade Mario's hammer mid-fight. The key here is progression. We need to see these characters grow alongside Mario. If my partner feels like a real friend by the end of the journey, the story becomes much more memorable. The second idea I had focuses on the world itself. We've seen Mario turn into a plane or a boat, but what if he could change the actual map? Imagine a pop-up mechanic, similar to Super Paper Mario, where if you reach a cliff that you can't climb, you can enter a special mode where you literally fold the bottom of the screen to meet the top, creating a new path. It would turn the entire world itself into a giant puzzle. This would make the gameplay a lot more dynamic. This would replace the sticker and card systems that we've seen in previous games. Instead of collecting consumable attacks, you're collecting folding patterns. These would be permanent abilities that let you manipulate the environment and enemies in a creative, paper-themed way. And lastly, let's talk about the combat. Lately, the series has experimented with rings and paint, but it sometimes feels a bit disconnected. My third idea would be the ink and page system. Think of it as a mix of a classic turn-based combat and a resource managing style of game. Mario has a limited amount of ink each turn. Powerful moves use more ink, and you have to decide, do I use it all in one big splash attack, or save it to sketch a shield for the next turn? This keeps the strategy high, but also keeps the pace fast. It moves away from the inventory management of the last few games, and puts the focus back on making smart decisions during mid-battle. Paper Mario has always excelled as a RPG game, along with the wackiness of the paper mechanics we've seen in the past titles. So I think going forward, the focus should always be about trying to balance both of these styles. But here's the big question: when is it actually going to happen? To try to figure this out, we'll have to look at the history of past releases. Since the series has moved to the modern era, Nintendo has actually been surprisingly consistent. If you look at the major releases since 2012, there's a very clear pattern. Sticker Star arrived in 2012, Color Splash followed in 2016, and the Origami King landed in 2020. That is a perfect 4-year development cycle. Based on that math, 2024 should have been our year for a brand new entry. Instead, Nintendo gave us the Thousand Year Door remake in May of 2024. Now, some fans think that the remake reset the clock, but I'm not too sure about that. Usually remakes are handled by a smaller team or are typically outsourced. We are currently in mid-2026. If Nintendo follows this rhythm, we should be close to an announcement, likely around the next Nintendo Direct, whenever that is. At the end of the day, Paper Mario is at its best when it's funny, colorful, and just a little bit weird. Whether we get a total RPG revival or a brand new gimmick, I just hope that the writing and the ideas are original but also work well within the game. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you want to see in this next game, tell me in the comments. And Nintendo, you can just go ahead and take these ideas. It'll probably be a good game.